Good morning, everyone. So today, I'm going to unveil our technology. As I shared last week, right? I'll be going to show you how our technology works. How we are decoding your biology at a molecular level, and how we are having at nutrition interventions and therapeutic interventions. So it will be divided into two parts. I'll be taking the first part today, and the second part will be taking up after post Diwali, right? So before that, let us start with basics. So why are we dealing with so many chronic diseases? 100 million people are 100 million plus people are diabetic. People are getting cardiovascular issues at younger age. People are developing cancer. PCOS is rampant. There's no solution for chronic kidney disease, non-chronic fatty liver disease, right? Skin issues, depression, anxiety, Alzheimer's. We have all those things coming in, and what is the reason why we are not able to solve them? So again, if you go back to our modern medicine method and the modern healthcare system, it does two things, which is not contributing towards improving our health. First is it's literally a symptom care, right? So essentially, they just focus. If you go to a doctor or health coach or health practitioners, or adopt a pharmaceutical approach, it is just focused on managing and suppressing your symptoms. So you go with 10 symptoms, they will give you five different drugs, you will suppress them, and again you will have more symptoms, and this goes on and on, right? And second thing is that the doctors have been, you know, the manifestation of disease as assumed by doctor is different for every single disease, which is wrong, right? So they will give different things for diabetes, different things for cardiovascular disease, different thing for cancer, different thing for skin issues. But eventually, it everything inside our body is connected. For instance, people who have gum disease and periodontal disease have type 2 diabetes, have high risk of Alzheimer's, have high risk of cardiovascular disease, right? Similarly, people who have diabetes have a higher risk of cardiovascular disease, liver disease. So this is all really, really connected. So what we really need to understand is, uh, our biology, at a molecular level, what we need to understand what is the biological process going on, how every single, interaction inside our body are deeply connected, right? So that's what the questions we were trying to answer when we started this. So what if we can, you know, understand the biological processes happening inside the body. We when we are born, we start with one single cell, one egg, one thing, but it becomes a trillion of cells, and then 50%, 57% of these cells belong to these microbes living inside our mouth and gut and various other places, right? So essentially, understanding the interaction between these microbes and human host, and understanding the interaction between the food we eat and these microbes, and what they are producing, how their byproducts are impacting our physiology, how it is changing our genes expression. So our question was, what if we can decode these expression of genes, whether it is underexpressed or overexpressed, and how they are actually changing our physiology, making us develop a disease, how we can modulate, or alter the genes expression just by right set of nutrition choices, right? So and if how can we make our cell or instruct our cell to produce proteins which can actually, you know, uh, help us prevent and reverse diseases, right? So essentially, all these things boils down to what is happening inside our body at a cellular molecular level, right? And if you see 5 to 7 years back or 10 years back, it was never possible because you know the disease developed 10 years before this symptom actually 10 to 20 years before symptom actually show up, right? And it is all because of the interaction between food and the microbiome, which alters the genes expression, which leads to production of pro-inflammatory molecules like cytokine, chemokines, IL-6, and a lot of these TNF, and a lot of these things, which leads to onset and progression of disease. And we never had this technology up till now to actually decode these interaction, decodes the production of these pro-inflammatory molecules, right? So that we can suppress it, so that we don't develop a disease, right? So essentially, we never had this technology. All these molecules were clearly invisible, which cannot be decoded by the current uh, clinical grade tests, right? And that's why we used to wait until the symptoms used to appear, and then we went to go to doctor and suppress those symptoms, right? So now we have technology in place to understand these interactions, understand what our cells are doing, what how the change in expression of genes in coding for the protein which is leading to development of disease, what sort of pro-inflammatory molecules are being produced, how we can actually suppress them by that set of therapeutics and nutrition. That's what we started off, right? So that's what we have built, India's first human microbiome therapeutics platform. So what we do is the starting point is obviously the the biological sample what we have, is a home to millions and billions of molecules, right? There's a huge chunk of information, right? And the first step is obviously to actually use the biological sample to collect all these molecular information, right? Which is what we call as digitizing the human body, right? Getting a biochemical footprint of our body. So when we collect these things, we can actually, there's a lot of these data points, maybe 130 plus millions of data points, right? Again, uh, one step is digitizing, collecting. Other step is analyzing them, processing them, right? So then now we have this technology called next generation sequencing technology. What we focus is more on the genes expression sequencing, not on the DNA, right? So we can know what molecules are being produced by just sequencing your biological sample. Forgot it is your is it a stool, for mouth it is saliva, for vagina it is vaginal swab, right? So essentially this all sequencing method helps us collect this biological information, this molecular information. Now we have built this in-house cloud computing bioinformatics algorithm where we can process this data. So when we process this data, all these molecular thing is converted into, the genes expression, the microbial genes expression, right? So what genes are being expressed, it is overexpressed, underexpressed, right? Microbes may encode for 2 million genes, but at one point in time, only 80,000 to 100,000 genes may be expressed. So when we get this data again, we have processed this information, which is not read by the naked eye, into an information which we can now understand, right? Now the next step is obviously this is what we call is collecting biological information. Now what is called is how do we measure the chemistry, right? So for that we have actually built an advanced mathematical algorithm and formula, right? So again, all these genes are classified and reclassified into various pathways, which is backed by our mathematical formula, right? Which is again backed by 30,000 plus research articles and scientific literatures, right? So this is again, we get this biological, uh, you know, uh, we convert this genes expression into biological pathways, which tells the state of our health, various function, whether it is metabolic health, skin health, digestive health, you know, reproductive health, autoimmune health, risk of cancer, risk of neurodegenerative disorders. So we generally convert this 130 million of data points into 100,000 genes expression into 36 biological pathways, which is 26 biological pathway scores and 10 whole body scores, right? And again, we also determine based on your microbiome genes experience, we also determine your nutrient absorption. Now, this is how we arrived at this. Tells you the underlying cause of various chronic disease, whether it is type 2 diabetes, whether it is chronic kidney disease, whether it is cardiovascular disease, skin issues, autism, So we again, for instance, for diabetes, as we have built an diabetes type 2 diabetes prediction model where we see 17 biological pathways, including bitrate, including LPS, bile acid metabolism, fructose metabolism, glucose production, glucose metabolism, glutamine production, GLP-1, PY. There are a number of these what we look at, right? So again, uh, these pathways actually tell the state of our health, right? And that's something which is so we actually quantify and score these pathways, right? So convert into low, medium, high activity based on the inflammatory activity, and that determines your right set of intervention. So again, There is no nutritionist, there is no biotechnology, no doctor here. It is all data driven. It is all how we collect, process, analyze, and interpret your data, right? So let me show you how this look like, and probably this is sometime we are opening up to everyone for the first time, right? And so if we share, let me share my screen. Uh, yes. So this is how the entire algorithm look like, right? Uh, so this is an introduction. This is basics about nutrition, right? How should we you look at nutrition? How should we look at the biological process inside the body? We have to go beyond these fat diets and interventions based on your blood works, your high protein diets, your ketosis, or whatever or certain foods which are prebiotics, probiotics, without understanding your physiology, right? So this tells the basic of how food is metabolized, why microbiome important, what is the role of the microbiome, this is the basic of understanding, uh, in a very simple layman language, so you can actually have a control of how should understand this language of how the food is being metabolized inside the body. For instance, you know, uh, vitamin B12, right? Again, E. coli is one of the bacteria which process the food which is having vitamin B12, directly vitamin B12, which helps in various functions. So essentially, again, it depends upon E. coli which genes are being expressed. So if they are expressing virulent genes, it can increase the LPS protein, increase the risk of cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes, or it can give you vitamin B12, right? So this is just an example. So this is how we can actually understand these are basics of nutrition, which I recommend whoever is signing up for our service, please read this. Please give time to read this. There's no quick fix. There's nobody's going to feed you things, right? You have to understand your biology. Again, this comes to your biological as I mentioned. There are all these scores what we have, right? Uh, if you see, you can also see full body scores. Here are your full body scores, right? Here is your, if you see, you can say good, there's no good score. Probably if you see there's an average score, you can see, or you can see suboptimal, and you can also see the description is there, right? What this score means, how do we calculate this score, right? So there's this a lot of this stuff what is there inside this, thing. And again, if you see the biological scores, you can again check, or if you want to see average, which score is average. So it just gives you description of methane gas, explain how methane gas is produced in the body, what is your score, what is your status right now, right? Uh, so this is something really, really important to understand, right? So you can see such scores, essentially there are 26 such scores, and if you scroll down, you will find all the scores here, right? So that is something we should understand, right? This gives the state of your biology right now, what is going on inside the body, right? That is really, really important. Okay. Uh, then coming on to this will tell you everything inside your body, right? Every biological process, what is causing you bloating, what is causing your elevated sugar level, what is causing headache, migraine, and a lot of other symptoms. Now this is what we have is disease symptoms. So we have built this Prediclim, which is our diabetes protection powerhouse, right? Which actually tells you the risk of type 2 diabetes, right? These are the pathways what we look at. So I was talking about glucose metabolism, GLP secretion, PR, indole, acetic indole performance, Paramine, precursor, fructose metabolism, bile acid, and a lot of these things. This tells you the score and the risk of diabetes. And so for this sample report which I've taken, it is high, and these are the pathways which tells you three is pro-inflammatory, very high, very, very high, which is one of the reason why for instance in this case oxalate metabolism very high, which is causing insulin spikes, right? Uh, so again, this is the basic of our first step. All right, next step we'll be talking about nutrition interventions. How do we arrive at supplement recommendations, right? We also have efficiency form, right? And these are global forms used generally for clinical studies. So for instance, PHQ-9, which helps us see how well our nutrition interventions or interventions are impacting our anxiety, depression, or IBS SSS, which tells our how our nutrition choices or our lifestyle choices impacting our risk of IBD, and then number of such efficiency forms which will come. So that's something you can check on your own, right? This will automatically calculate and give you the results, right? So it's all mathematics driven, right? This is again phenotype form, which generally we ask customers to fill. So at the first stage, when the customer is going for sequencing, after a month when you follow the recommendation, again the recommendation changes, again you have to refill the form to track your symptoms. So we have this all these data sets, feeding our algorithm, which is making it more and more intelligent. So you are not only contributing to your health, but also improving the health of the others. Probably all other customers will be joining after you. Right? You're signing for the customers after you. So this is the first leg of our technology platform, and second leg about nutrition intervention we'll be sharing, post Diwali, right? So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, or send me a message, or you can write to support@genefitgenetics.com, right? If you have any questions, right? So we just to brief, we do not have any guesswork, no opinions, no anecdotal evidence. It's all data driven. It's all mathematics plus chemistry plus biology. Right? That's how we decode your health at a molecular level, right? So here again, we are not saying any AI or ML. It's too early. It's you need huge data sets to actually run such models, right? It's a mathematical algorithm which we have built, and again, soon as we keep on building data, it will be soon converted into a machine learned model where we can actually increase more the efficiency of our intervention. Right? That's it for today. Have a great day. Thank you very much.